Just before we get in this video, there is a special announcement that I want to make. Starting from Monday, we will be having a series of expose on the end times. That is going to be a live session, and it will be from 1 p.m. EST. So you can place that if probably that's not the time zone that you are in. You can just place that if it's on Google, and you'll be able to locate the exact time that I will be live. So the series that I will be covering will be based just on the end times, because there's a lot that God is sharing with us at this specific time, because we are in the end time. There is a lot that we are going to be learning about, because there's a lot of deception that is going on. And as children of God, it is very important for us to be aware of all of this. So I would request that everyone to try and join. So that is going to be from Monday. So the reason why I'm saying it's from Monday, probably Tuesday as well, Wednesday, it's a whole series. So the plan is that most of the days, weekdays, I would always be live, just doing that end time series, because there's a lot that God has been uncovering, and now it's time for me to actually share it with everybody. I'm telling you, that information is very, very important. You don't need to miss it for anything. In case you don't make it to join on the live, you can always check out the rebroadcast, because that video will always just be there. So you can just watch the rebroadcast, and I'm sure you'll be able to grasp everything. Don't miss that for anything. I'm promising you that is quite something. It's a whole series from Monday. So with that being said, that was a very special announcement. Another beautiful announcement is that Great Grace TV, that is led by Pastor EJ Newton, is finally back on YouTube. That was his previous YouTube channel before it actually got shut down. You know, when he, every time that we all know Pastor EJ, you know, and he's been very vocal. He has been very bold, coming out and just sharing his experience in that previous camp. And allegedly, we're not really sure who brought it down, but whoever did it, they managed to bring it down. But 2 months later, it's finally back on YouTube. We thank God for that, because that is also a win for him. But now in this video, we are going to be having a look at a story where he is sharing about his experience with Marcus Rogers. You know, immediately when he was coming out of that camp, and he wanted now to, he wasn't really sure if he's going to expose or not. So he called out Marcus Rogers, and I'm telling you, you'll be shocked by what Marcus Rogers did to Pastor EJ Newton. So let us get in the video. Let's get into it.
You owe it.
So this here is just a recent live that he got to do. So let's pick it up from this point here.
Reaching out, to ask for support, for prayers, and things of that nature, right? Because this guy has, in time, to end this shortly, but I did a YouTube video, okay? I did an Instagram video addressing something that happened. I'm gonna address it one more time. And I'm gonna address it, for y'all to hear it, okay? For y'all to hear it, because we're gonna hold people accountable. That's what we're going to do. I'm gonna tell you this. When all of this started, I reached out to right before I was gonna double down. I reached out to Marcus Rogers. I was reaching out, to ask for support, for prayers, and things of that nature, right? Because this guy has, in time past, kind of called out some people, and I'm like, well, maybe he could offer some sort of support. I don't know. So I reached out or whatever, and he went on YouTube the next day. Mind you, at this time, there was a lot of weird stuff going on. My family and I, we actually left the state. We left the state because of how things were going. It was really, really bad at some point, okay? And we had to not disclose our plans. I couldn't disclose the things I was going to do. But I reached out to him, and I mean, I think the least he could have done was either said, hey, bro, I don't want to talk to you right now, or hey, I read some things about you, which is what he said. He said, man, I seen some things about him. People sent me things about him. If you weren't sure, you should have just said that. But he went live with my screenshot at a time where we were really like not in a safe place. We were not in a safe place, okay? And mind you, this guy has never really come out and take a real stand on a video, on a live stream, against like a real proper scriptural stand. I've seen a Facebook post he's made one about me way back in the day, and then he comes and pretends like he doesn't know who I am. Like, don't lie, you know who I am. Richard Lorenzo is your friend, and you guys have, you know who I am. Come on, don't lie. So you do know who I am. Don't come out and say, this guy called EJ Newton. No, you know who I am. You've made a Facebook post about me. It's probably still up there somewhere. And I remember when I was still in that camp, I was like upset. I was like, Marcus Rogers, how dare this guy? And I remember going through your Instagram page, and I seen a video of you dancing to Usher. And I was like, wait, isn't this the guy that is preaching holiness? What are you dancing to Usher for? But I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't that confrontational back then. You see what I'm saying? So I let it slide. I let it slide, okay? And I'm only saying this because I'm telling the story where my heart was and where my heart is right now, okay? So, no, guys, I'm not saying this to shame Marcus Rogers. I'm not saying, I'm going to tell you a very important story. So you condemn this thing, but what does restoration look like? What does help look like? So if you've condemned this guy and they reach out to you, hey, let's figure it out. By the way, Lovy reached out to me at some point, and I took the call. And I've told you guys about that call. Like, he reached out to me. Okay, Uber Angel kind of was like a mediator or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, Uber Angel reached out to me, and then obviously I know that Lovy orchestrated that whole thing. And I took the call until integrity was tested, and I realized there was no integrity, so I can't take any call again after that, right? There has to be a different way. He's going to have to approach it a different way. Okay, so when I reach out to you after you've done those things, you don't take my screenshot. He took the screenshot, put it on his video. EJ Newton reached out to me today, put me on blast. You gave out the plan. You gave out my heart. You gave out what we wanted to do. That didn't protect us. That didn't protect my family. That didn't protect this cause. But then I realized that it wasn't about alliances. It was about Jesus, that Jesus was the one that wouldn't fail me. That it almost seemed like once again I was putting my trust in people. So I learned a valuable lesson that day. Okay. Now I'm sharing this publicly because he made a video about this publicly. Okay. And then, he said, I'm going to show you the message. And for some reason, the camera was like glaring. There was too much light on the camera. So you couldn't see what he was trying to say. You couldn't see what he was trying to say on the camera. Or see my message on the camera. And I was like, God, like, that's you protecting me. That's you protecting me. I believed it was God protecting me, okay? Fast forward. I do an interview with Ezekiel. We need to talk. Ezekiel Asson will do an interview. Interview's done. Interview's going crazy. I think he watched the interview and was like, okay, well, I think this guy may be onto something. I think there's repentance here. I think that the Lord, wants to tell the church something. Okay, so he reaches back out to me. Mind you, I've seen his heart already. For me, it just seemed like clout. And I'll tell you why I said so, okay? Now, I don't know if there's like another, I don't remember if maybe there's another message or maybe he apologized. I don't know, okay? But I believe that if you've put me out there like that you have to come back out publicly and you got to take it back, or you have to apologize, or you have to speak on it, which I don't know if he did, okay? I don't know, okay? It just seemed like he cared more about content than he cared about a soul. That's what it looked like to me. That's what it looked like to me. You didn't care about winning a brother. You cared about your content. Now, listen to me. Now, I've made an Instagram video about what you've done. Haven't heard from this guy, okay? Which is fine. And I'm bringing this up for the sake of integrity. I haven't heard from this guy, which is fine. Which is fine. If you issue a statement because I've talked about it and people are coming for you, then it almost seems like you're narcissistic. If you give excuses, you're gonna seem narcissistic, okay? If you issue an apology only because it becomes a big issue, then it seems like it's eye service, like it's not real. That's what it seems like to me. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to issue an apology to Richard Lorenzo. Okay. I'm not saying that we agree on doctrines, we agree on things like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm gonna say this. He knows this, and I've apologized to him privately already. We called each other. I texted him or whatever. This is back in the day. We talked about something that happened with, like, I thought that he had told certain people things about me, okay? And so I went off. So I'm apologizing to him today for, I don't think I mentioned his name, but he knows I was talking about him. So I'm apologizing to him today. I haven't really heard much from him since this started. I did reach out. He's one of the first people that I told that Lovy was actually a warlock. One of the first people. I haven't heard much from him. The last message I got from him, he was telling me, that, the Lord wanted to bring me through. I forget that it was like some sort of prophetic word or something. But he sent me a message back then, but I haven't heard from him. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to, I don't know. Maybe that was, I know he was also dealing with some things as well. So I'm saying this to clear. Oh God, we're good. But yeah, guys, let's have some integrity, guys. Let's have some integrity. Simple. And then the next thing Marcus does is he makes a video about how Sheridan and I make how we choose to share our story. He says, well, it's a serious matter, and I don't like how they were making light of it. They were laughing about it. We're sharing our personal experience. You don't get to tell a Sheridan who dealt with what she did. You don't even know a half of what she's dealt with. I seen it. I seen her cry many times. Many times. I seen it happen firsthand. She's seen me cry many times. Remember, we were also friends together we were all friends. The three of us were friends. We had to be there. We've had to be there for each other. We didn't talk for so many years because our friend, the person we thought was our friend, pit us against each other. He pit us against each other. And somehow the Lord was able to restore that relationship recently, probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe less. And we're reliving the trauma. We're telling the story again. When we tell this Sheridan is such a great storyteller that even if you were not in that moment, you almost can see what she's saying. You almost can see what she's saying. So now imagine me who lived in that moment. It was almost like I was reliving the experience. And I could have come online and I could have cried. And I told Sheridan, I said, listen, it was so many moments I had to hold my tears back. So that's what was going on in our hearts. That was what was going on in my heart. On the live stream, she choked up. It got to a point where she choked up. We don't tell you how to share your experiences. We don't tell you how to share your personal experiences. You don't know how much of therapy she's had to go through. You don't. You don't know how much of healing she's had to go through. We thank God for her personality. We thank God that we can look back and laugh about this. You didn't experience that. The worst thing you experienced with Lovy was going to Lovy's meeting, Back in the day, he laid hands on you, prophesied to you. That's the worst thing you experience with Lovy. At least for all we know. So when we tell our story, let us tell our story the way we choose to tell our story. Right now, saying this, I'm holding tears again. And God forbid I don't cry. God forbid I don't put on a show for you. God forbid. That's what we're trying to get out of. We're trying to get out of that flesh carnality. Where if I don't cry, you don't think I communicated. If I don't keep my face serious, you don't think I communicated. You're supposed to be a brother in the body of Christ. So please correct yourself for the future. And I'm speaking about this publicly because it's a public thing, because you talked about her publicly. That's a woman that's had to endure things. Shame on you, Marcus Rogers. Actually, shame on you for that. And you're supposed to be an ex-military, a protector. You're supposed to be a protector. You're a pastor. How do you deal with women who have been abused in your ministry? You owe her an apology. You owe her an apology. You owe every woman who has spoken up or laughed through your testimony an apology. Because if they choose to laugh, that's power to them. That's strength to them. That's strength to them. You don't know what they have to fight internally when they tell their stories. You don't. You have no idea. You will never know the strength that it took for her to come out and speak. She's a professional athlete. A professional athlete. She put her career, she put it on the line to shame herself in public so that people can learn, so that people can come to Jesus, so that people can be saved. And the best you could do was say, you don't like how she shared it. She shouldn't have been laughing because it was that serious. We've been fighting this case. I ain't seen you support Gigi. I ain't seen you support none of the victims. Sure, it's your money. You don't gotta support nobody. You don't gotta spend on nobody. But please put your money where your mouth is and put your mouth where your money is. Sit somewhere and don't speak on her anymore. Do the right thing. Do the right thing as a servant of God. Be a voice for the oppressed. Be a voice for those that can't speak. When they're trying to bully people, when they're trying to put people down, be a voice to them. Put your heart for them. Please go apologize to her. Apologize to these women, please. Do the right thing. And again, I've read from so many people that Marcus Rogers always gives excuses when he is wrong and he never apologizes. That's not a good testimony to have. And I hope that that's not the case this time. I hope it's different. And I hope they're wrong. I hope they're wrong. And this is not me angry at you. This is me just asking for something to be done differently. So I want to thank Sheridan. I want to thank Sheridan for speaking up, for choosing to laugh through his story. Listen, Marcus, we're supposed to be united right now, not divided. United. We have a common enemy, the devil. We've come out of darkness. You're supposed to be in the rescue mission. You're supposed to be pulling us out. You're supposed to be saying, what do you need to heal? You're supposed to be a rescuer. Not a speech police. Hey guys, what do you need? Who knows where Gigi is? Do you know where Gigi is? She spoke up. Rescue. This is a rescue mission. Rescue mission. Listen, do you know how many people have been saved since we started speaking? You don't need to commend us for speaking, but please don't shame us for speaking. Don't tell us how to speak. So imagine somebody was going to speak up but it's their personality but their personality doesn't align with how you believe people should speak up, and then maybe something you says discourages them from speaking up. Imagine how many souls are attached to that person's testimony. Imagine how many people you discourage from telling their testimony. Marcus, we're fighting darkness, and we're fighting darkness together. I hope. And I've been wrong before, and you've corrected me publicly, and I've come out and I've changed. You don't have to change tomorrow. You don't have to change then, but please find time to change. Please. Please. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't have a personal problem with you. This is not a personal problem. It's not a personal problem. Sometimes our laughter is what is holding us from tears. Sometimes our laughter is the mask that we put on our face to hide the tears on the other side, to hide the tears within. Sometimes the laughter may be the expression of what the joy that the Lord has given to us. That even though we went through such traumatic experiences, we're still here to tell the story. And that was my friend. And that is my friend. And I can laugh. Please, let's encourage people to speak up, not speak against people that are speaking up. And it's, again, some pastors are watching this from the sideline and they're waiting to see how it goes before they start publicly supporting. Guys, you lack spine, guys. Get some spine. Some of these women speaking up they're closer to God than some of y'all. Not all, some. Closer to God than some of y'all. Because at least they're speaking up. They're standing for truth. And again, those of you on the sideline, just know God is watching. God is watching. God is watching. Again, I don't think we're on opposing sides. I think we're on the same side. And I think that we need to start acting like we're on the same side. We need to start acting like we're rescuing people. And that this is not just about content creation. Okay? Let's do this together. Let's do this together. We may not do the way you do it, but it doesn't mean that we're less holy than you, or we're not as saved as you, or people are not getting the story. It's people that have called and thanked Sheridan for saying thank you for exposing darkness. You see, Ricky is on right now. Ricky makes videos. He makes videos in his own way. We don't tell him how to make his videos. His videos are reaching a certain audience. And he's doing what he can. Everybody, Chris Baraka is reaching his audience the way he chooses to. The Lord is using him in that way. Jasmine is reaching her audience. Abednego is reaching his audience. We're all doing this work. It's a rescue mission.
Wow. It's a rescue mission. I have always said that I am a voice. I am a voice for the people who are crying, people who are damaged, people who don't want to believe anymore, people who don't want to be seen on certain circles because they used to be part of those circles, but right now they can no longer be part of those circles because of the so-called men of God. Whatever they have spoken about these people on the altar, the whole church. Sometimes maybe you don't understand this, but if you're a part of a certain church, most of the time this is how it happens in most of these ministries. If you are part of a certain church, and then all of a sudden now you're exposing that man of God, what happens is not just for you to lose the relationship with only that man of God or that minister who's there, but the whole church goes against you. These are people, some of them could be even very close friends. But because of spiritual bondage, they are manipulated, their thoughts are manipulated with scriptures, a twist of scriptures. They change their face on you. I've always said that I am a voice for such kind of people. Where do these people go to? Most of the time, I've always given people a chance on this platform to get to share the experiences, even how they were abused in churches, spiritually abused. And if you've been following this platform for a while, you've even seen, you have actually seen, you are able to see some of them share their stories, and they started even to cry online. They would cry. That just clearly shows you how damaged people are. People who have been told to give everything they had. Some went even to sell their lands, to sell every property because of this miracle that they wanted. And they never got that miracle. Where do these people go to? Where? If all of us are too busy for them, because maybe we are just after the glamorous, we are just after the things of this world. You know, it's easy for people just to get attached to ministers because of how they, the luxury that they walk with. So people want to be associated with that. But what happens to this person who has been ripped everything for that man of God to be able to enjoy that lifestyle that you want to run towards? This platform has always been a voice for such people. That is why I always say, and family. This is a family. Most of the time when I'm introducing the videos, I always get to say, welcome to Chris Baraka and family. That family is you and me. We are part of that family. This is a family. This is a family. We are all a part of the body of Christ. This is a family. This is a family. So I have a number of things that I would love to mention about Marcus Rogers, including the interview that he did about Daystar. If you can remember, there's an interview he did about Daystar TV. He went, first of all, he interviewed Johnny Lamb and the wife, and then he was now invited to Daystar TV, and he did the other interview on that side as well. And then all of a sudden, he came down, pulled down those videos, and just a lot and a bunch of excuses. And I was following closely. I was checking out the interviews because at that time, everyone just wanted to know what exactly is going on in this gospel television. So I was following closely, and I was just checking out. And as he was beginning those interviews, he was praying. And according to him, it's like God had guided him to get and do those interviews. Like it wasn't just from a fleshly point of view. That is what I got from the way he was explaining, because he used to explain a lot before he got now into the interview. But later on, he came and pulled down those videos. I think I did a video just to ask why he got to do that, because even professionally, as a professional journalist, you don't do that. Because when you go and interview someone, it's about their story. It's not about what you want their stories to be like. You have to give people a chance to express their stories the way they find best. And that is almost just the same thing that actually I'm hearing Pastor E.J. Newton expressing. It's almost just the same thing. We are not giving people a chance to be themselves. We want to control narratives. There is no fairness in that. That's the first thing. There's no fairness in that. And we have to know that we are not trying to do FBI services. This is not an investigation. People have a right to share their stories in whatever manner that works best for them. In whatever manner that works best for them. The second thing is about pulling down those videos. Just the way that Pastor EJ is saying, on one part, you exposed him. On the other part, you're calling him, now you want to probably just get content from him or whatever the call was all about. So, a double-minded. It's like a double-mindedness. You know, it's like you want this, you don't want. 1 minute you're doing an interview guided by God, the other minute you're pulling down that interview, just double-minded. But what does the Bible say about being double-minded, really? What does the Bible say about a double-minded person, being double-minded? You know, you have to, because I always wonder how people are always bold to declare that God had led them to do this, and then the next minute they are withdrawing everything, pulling down with just a bunch of excuses, and then they're forgetting that actually they say that it's something that God has led them to do. So in life, as every day, there's just something for us to learn. I believe there's a lot for us to learn in this story that Pastor EJ has shared. There is just a lot for us to learn about it. But also, I would like to get to hear your opinion about this right there in the comment section. And from Monday, we are starting an end time series just to expose. We're exposing some very shocking things that are going on right now. It is important for everybody to actually get to watch those videos from Monday. Because there's a lot. It's going to be very eye-opening. It's going to be loaded, packed with information. You don't have to miss it for anything. If you won't make it to be part of the live, you can always, at your own time, watch the rebroadcast. So, I'd like also to get to hear your feedback about the Monday live. The time that I had planned for is 1 p.m. EST. Just let me know if that's okay with you right there in the comment section. I'd like to hear your thoughts about that as well. So stay blessed and see you in the next video.